what's up everybody? Tim here. About a week late on this, but for the handful of you that watched my video last week where I opened the Guns N' Roses Deluxe Edition vinyl, I had indicated at that time that a new Alice Cooper EP called Breadcrumbs had come out. But unfortunately, because of Amazon, I didn't have the vinyl on the day it came out, even though I pre-ordered it. It did come last Sunday, so this is Friday, September 20th, so I'm about a week late on this. And I know I open up a lot of vinyl and stuff on here, and some people might be like, well, why are you doing that? What's the point? I think it's kind of fun to see what's in some of these and to see like if there's different colored vinyl or whatever. But allegedly, with this Alice Cooper release, there are only 20,000 of these vinyls released worldwide, and they're numbered. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to open it up and just see if there's anything special and see what my number is. So here it is. Again, I got this last Sunday and I have not opened it yet because I wanted to do it on here. I just haven't had time while we get to it. So let's. Whoop. All right. Let's pull it out of the thing here. And this is actually a very small vinyl. If you look at this, it's very small. Again, like I said, it's a 10-inch vinyl. And what this is, it's called Breadcrumbs. It's an EP. It's got 6 tracks. What this is Alice going back to his roots. He was originally born in Detroit and then moved to Arizona, and that's where the band got started. But when nothing was happening in Arizona and Los Angeles for the band in the late 60s, they moved back to Detroit, where you had bands like the MC5, you had Ted Nugent, you had Suzi Quatro, you had the MC5, and all these, Bob Seger, and all these really, really kind of, at the time, very heavy, very hard rocking bands. And Detroit has always been a hotbed for hard rock and roll. So he went back and made a somewhat, I guess, a covers EP, covering an old Bob Seger song from the 60s called, East Side Story. Suzi Quatro's Your Mama Won't Like Me. As well as songs like Devil with the Blue Dress On that has kind of a smoky cabaret R&B kind of club feel to it. It's kind of neat. Very, very good album, or very good EP. Definitely harkens back to Alice's garage rock roots and has a very garage rock sound. So let's open up this 10-inch vinyl and just see. Now you see, if you can read right there on the front, it does indicate, limited and numbered 10-inch vinyl single, only 20,000 copies worldwide, includes 6 brand new recordings. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera right there. And in addition to the covers that are on here, there are also a couple of Alice originals. One is called Detroit City, which he actually released on an album called The Eyes of Alice Cooper back in 2003, but it's re-recorded here. And it kind of just talks about the history of, Detroit and the rock scene that was going on back then. And even indicating long before there was Kid Rock or Eminem or Insane Clown Posse or any of the other things that Detroit became famous for later on. Let's see if I can get this thing open today. Here we go. All right. We're getting there. All right, so we have the sleeve open. So again, here's the cover. Old Black Eyes. It's pretty neat. So let's see what we have inside. All right, let's just see what all is in here. So here is an ad for not only Alice's last full album called Paranormal, is also an ad for his Paranormal Evening at the Olympia in Paris. So ads for his latest studio album and his live album. And then on the flip side, an advertisement for the band he's in called Hollywood Vampires that also includes Joe Perry from Aerosmith and Johnny Depp. Interesting band. Haven't really listened to a whole lot of the stuff, but from what I have heard, it sounds pretty good, and it's Alice, so it can't be that bad. It can't be too bad, I should say. Here is the vinyl sleeve on the inside. Again, the Eyes of Alice Cooper. It's always pretty neat. So let's see what we have here. Okay. Nothing too special, just a very small record. Again, a 10-inch record. There's only 6 tracks on it, so I guess it didn't need to be a full-size record. Still pretty cool. Again, that's the Alice Cooper Breadcrumbs EP. I don't know. Allegedly, this is numbered. So I don't know where the number might be. Maybe that's the number right there, 09209. Out of 20,000. Okay, so yeah, well, I've got 9,209 is my number, as it says, like right there on the thing. So, okay. So, that's pretty cool. Again, not much to it. It's a, like I say, it's a very short EP. But very good. Very good. And that's kind of neat. Like, nice little collector's item that I picked up. And it was only like $15 on Amazon. So it's not a real expensive buy, to get something limited edition. I don't have the second one on vinyl, but I do have their third record. It's called Love It to Death. I picked this up at a used record store, I think for like $2. The cover's all beat to shit, but the record is still in really good shape. But this was their first major hit album. This has the hit I'm 18, which was their very first hit. Great album. Also has, Ballad of Dwight Fry, which is another song. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of Alice Cooper in a straight jacket saying, "I gotta get out of here," but that's from this record. Again, Love It to Death. Now, the interesting thing about this record, like I said, I picked this up for like $2 on a clearance bin at a used record store. And when I opened it up, I found something very, very cool inside. If you open it up, there's the eyes of Alice Cooper, even in 1971. I found something very, very cool inside. It was a piece of notebook paper. And when I looked at it, it's somebody's homework. And it's dated, I would assume this is May 15th, 73, from 5th period. So again, this piece of notebook paper has been sitting in this record for, 45 years, 46 years, however long it's been. And apparently, they had an assignment on the personalities involved in the Watergate scandal, just to give you some perspective on what was going on at the time. Maybe not so much when this record came out, but when this person was doing their homework. So again, I have homework in here from 1973. So I always thought that was cool, that somebody left that in here, and it's been sitting in here the whole time. So it's a part of this record now, so I refuse to take it out. I think it's kind of cool. Next, what was probably the climax, if you will, of the original Alice Cooper Band's creativity, and the biggest album they had, $1 Billion Babies. This album actually went to #1. Huge record. Includes, obviously, the song $1 Billion Babies. It also includes No More Mr. Nice Guy. What else is on here? Let's see. Yeah. Hello, Hooray, another huge song. But this one's kind of cool because this whole album sleeve it's designed like maybe an alligator skin wallet or something like that. So, you've got the cover, and then you open it up into like the billfold here, and you've got, pictures of the band or whatever. And then you've got inside here, you've got this big giant $1 billion bill with Alice Cooper's face, or the band, on the front of it. And then some other cool stuff on the back. Again, that's kind of neat. And then, of course, you have the... Again, I'll have to edit a lot of this out. Get in there. Okay. And then the album itself, Alice Cooper with a crying baby here with Alice Cooper face paint on. That's always a nice look. And let's see. I don't think there's really anything else to this record, but I always thought this was cool, the way this kind of opened up like a wallet. And there's a deluxe edition of the CD that has multiple CDs. I think it has a live album from '73 in it. It's pretty much the same way. It's just in a smaller format. So, you can either pick up the vinyl like this, or you can pick it up in CD format. Pretty much has the same billfold. Came an album inspired by Alice's time in the asylum called From the Inside. So you see the cover of the album, Alice Cooper's face painted up. The cool thing about this cover, or this gatefold, is that, it opens up like this. You open the gatefold, and it shows the inside of, the asylum, with Alice and, all the various characters or whatever that he met there. So, I think that's kind of cool. And then, if you turn the record over, you see these doors right here, with all the song titles and everything. But if you open up the doors, it shows, the people in the asylum escaping. I always thought that was kind of neat, and a cool thing to do, with the record. Something collectible, which is something they used to do a lot in the 70s. With the vinyl resurgence, you do see some of that stuff coming back. Again, like the limited edition Breadcrumbs EP we talked about earlier, and some of the bands that are putting out, new releases on vinyl. you do see some cool things, different color vinyl and things like that. But haven't really seen anything with current vinyl that's as creative, as some of this. Their cult following. It's called The Last Temptation. It's right here. This came out in 1994. The only song he still plays from this album live would be a song called "Lost in America." But this is a great record. This is The Last Temptation. Again, it follows the adventures of the aforementioned Stephen. This time dealing with a choice of good or evil. And it was actually, the album was kind of written around a graphic novel, a Neil Gaiman graphic novel, which I also have right here. So this is pretty much the soundtrack to this graphic novel. Very good album. Again, by this point he had made Poison and Feed My Frankenstein and, his early 90s, more mainstream hits. With this album, he got back to what Alice Cooper does, which is making, great concept records. And in my opinion, this is one of his best records. This is a reissue. It's very glossy. It's very shiny. It's very nice. I don't know if there was anything special about the vinyl itself. No, not really. It's just black vinyl. I thought there was something in here, yeah. The sleeve inside that has the lyric sheet on one side also has some of the stuff from the graphic novel on the other side. The graphic novel I have is like this. It's all in black and white. But there is a color version that they released as a 20th or 25th anniversary. I'm not really sure. But again, in my opinion, one of the best Alice Cooper albums, in his catalog. And it's very cool because the late, great Chris Cornell actually sings backup vocals on 2 of the tracks on this album. So if you want to hear more Chris Cornell other than Soundgarden, Audioslave, and whatever, pick this up because he does sing a couple of songs with Alice on this record. But again, that's